2045. In 21 years, the technological singularity will hit us. Well, according to Ray Kurzweil, a famous MIT alumnus, Google visionary and futurist, it is a point in time when humans lose control over technological advancement. Advancement becomes unstoppable. The societal structure then is no longer comprehensible for us today. And as this topic is at the area of the boundary of a circle of knowledge, we will kind of relate it to philosophy. Philosophy is the study and expansion of the boundaries of knowledge. While we do not know exactly when a technological singularity will happen, experts, including Elon Musk, are certain that it will happen. Studies in 2012 and 2013 by Vincent Müller and Nick Bostrom suggest an over 50% confidence that human-level AI will be developed by 2040 till 2050. Well, why is this relevant for the youth? The coming generations will live in the world we shape today. So it's very important that we evaluate carefully what we choose today. Generally speaking, regarding AI, there's a lot of fear associated. Fear of losing control and fear of losing one's identity. But fear of change is anticipated by history. In fact, almost all major events that improved the world got some resistance at first. For example, the Copernican revolution, where we discovered that we're not the center of the universe. Well, let us start by talking about a famous figure in philosophy, Immanuel Kant. He was this famous German Enlightenment philosopher who proposed 4 questions. These questions we will use because they will, if they are answered, will solve all reasoning. We will use them as a guideline to answer our question whether a technological singularity is, philosophically speaking, feasible. So what is the first question? The first question is, what can we know? The second question, what is the human being? The third, what must we do? And lastly, the fourth, what may we hope for? The first 2 questions will build a foundation that we later on can build on and make the other 2 questions more easily to answer. So let us start with the first question. What can we know? Well, Socrates already said, I know that I don't know anything. This sounds very wise, but isn't it also a paradox? If I do not know anything, how can I know that I don't know anything? Well, in philosophy, we call this a logical error or circular reasoning. And in fact, we realize that all our answers lead inevitably in these illogical claims at some points. Carsten Harris, emeritus professor of philosophy at Yale University, calls this the autonomy of the world. The problem is that we humans are subjects, and subjects are always part of a whole, and thereby what we perceive is a reduction of reality. We just see one small part of it. And it's therefore not surprisingly that if we try to answer questions about reality, sometimes this leads to illogical errors. What can we do? Well, it has to do with what we are, human beings. And we define ourselves as Homo sapiens, which translates from Latin to the wise man. And what is wisdom? Well, people would say wisdom is having profound and valuable knowledge about reality. And this knowledge obviously has to be true. So if we want to be Homo sapiens, the humans we define ourselves as, we would have to have wisdom, or at least strive for it. And this is what we're going to probably do. And this also leads us to the third question. What must we do? Well, and technological singularity seems like a great opportunity, or something similar like it. And it will be the path, maybe, to lead to our ultimate goal, truth. And whether it is a digitalization of the human mind, or it is gaining immortality, according to Ray Kurzweil, the famous futurist, both would lead to expansion of the consciousness. And what do I mean with that? It's the expansion of what perceiving of reality. So the more we perceive, the closer we get to truth. And Ray Kurzweil postulates at some point we will have an omnipresent consciousness. This is the point where we perceive everything, so also truth. And this is where we also transform from a subject to something objective. Yuval Harari, the famous historian, would say, we transform from the Homo sapiens to the Homo Deus. But now at this point, I have to say caution is very crucial. Even though this is a great opportunity, it sounds very exciting, there are a lot of risks involved. The major one, extinction of the human race. And, well, I don't have to say that, but if the human race gets extinct, we, the subject, won't reach truth, so ultimate goal. So this wouldn't be helpful either. This leads us to what should we hope for? Well, we could hope for that we at some point release ourselves from the restraints of our knowing and reach our ultimate goal and thereby become something we will call human. And Albert Camus, the famous French philosopher, combined the human condition with the myth of Sisyphus. And he said it's actually quite similar, both of them, because the myth of Sisyphus talks about a man who was imprisoned by Zeus to roll up a stone up the mountain and never being able to do this. It's a form of torture because it's very, very dissatisfying. Each time when he's almost there, the stone falls down again. And the same is also with us trying to reach truth. We talked about Socrates. Well, it seemed like he kind of answered our question, but then not really, right? And that's the same thing with Sisyphus. But the good answer is, even Sisyphus was at some point released. He was released by Zeus. And what can we do? Well, we can either hope to get released or release ourselves at some point. We decide. Thank you.